Hi everyone, welcome to the course, and today we will be looking for UseEffect hook. So what is UseEffect hook is basically whenever you want to run something for some specific time, for that we use our UseEffect. So whenever you want to use it for that time, it will take some time, it will render it, okay, and after that it will execute it instead of instantly executing it. Okay, so now let's see how we can use our UseEffect. So one of the example of UseEffect is, and why do we use is whenever we want to perform side operations. For example, I don't want to disturb my whole of the components, but I want to perform some side operations. Like for example, I want to fetch data from somewhere. I want to print out something without disturbing my whole of the component. I want to increment the counter and I want to print that thing, but for a specific time. So that this UseEffect, imagine UseEffect as a side task. So for whole of your component, rest your component will be one side and your UseEffect of that component will be running one side. So these two will be separate. These two will not affect each other's operations. Okay. So now let's see how we can do that. For that, I have already created a component called toggle background and move it to your components. Okay. And just create this component RAFCE. I will tell you that what we are going to do, as its name suggesting that we are going to change the background depending upon the buttons. So how we will do that, but before that let me just show you one thing, which is I want to say use effect hook. Okay, so let's add some font size. I want to put a class name. I want to go with text 3XL. Okay, so now this H2 will look something like this. You need to refresh it. Okay, so for this component to get display, you want to render it on your parent component. So what is the parent? Your app1. Just put the name of your toggle and this will get into it. Okay, and now you can refresh. You can see it's there. So let's make it a better. I want to align it to the center. Okay, so text center. Now done. Now, how do we use UseEffect? For that, I need to import my UseEffect from the React. See, to now use your UseEffect, what you will be doing is you will just write over here your UseEffect and it will automatically import it from your React library, the React module. So now do this thing. Just use a arrow function inside it because it uses arrow function, your UseEffect. Now here just do console.log UseEffect executed. Okay, you have written it. Now just refresh it once, reload it. Okay, so as soon as you reloaded it, what it is saying that UseEffect executed. For means whenever you load your website, or your component is rendered, this particular thing will always get executed. Now this got executed once a time. Even if I'll reload it again, see it got executed again. So before executing any operation, this UseEffect got executed. That is why I was saying that it does not depend upon anything else. It is a side operation. Anything is done or not, this will get executed. Now see, here there is something called dependency array. Whenever it is empty, I write it or not, it will execute it. See, so it got executed. Let's suppose I entered 2 over here. Now this dependency array, it got executed one time, reload it. Whenever you make some changes to it, it will get executed. Now this is not getting executed, but just to show you, this dependency array helps you to execute it some specific amount of time. For example, I have not mentioned anything. So that means this array is an empty array. Okay, it is not having anything. So for this thing, you will just add something. You want to execute something, let's suppose you want to add some count. So for that thing, user count and set count equals to, you want to use your use state, and in this you can go with initial count is your 0. Okay, and let's suppose you want to go with your count and you want to console your count over here. Okay, but what do you want to do? After printing it, you want to do, it should go count time. But the one thing is, when you want to set it, okay, how I want to set it is, I will just set it over here only. How? See, set count is count plus 1. Okay, and I want to console, instead of consoling, I want to go with count over here. Okay, so I will write count. These things are just to show you that how things works. Now let's see. See, this is continuously executing it. If you can see that I have not added any specific condition to it, so it is constantly executing it. Okay, so if I want to increment it, what I will do? See, if I will remove it from here, okay, I removed it, it got stopped. So that means this use effect executes again and again till there are some changes in the count. Whatever I have written inside the dependency array, if some changes will be there in that particular variable or state, okay, that means that the use effect will have some updation. So let's suppose I did console.log, or let's have, I want to do set count plus 1, but I want to go till less than 5. Okay, wait. Okay, it doesn't go like this. Okay, let me just show you that it should be like, let's suppose nothing is there and I want to put a set count where count plus 1 is there. Okay, so now let's refresh it. First of all, it will not display anything because I have did this thing. So for that thing, I want to do over here on click. Okay, I want to use handle count, and to this I want to add over here my handle. Let's suppose I added here const handle count equals to set count plus 1. Okay, and use your handle count over here. You need to move this particular thing out of here. Okay, so reload it, it's 0, and now let's suppose, see, it's 1 now. You are clicking on this thing and it is incrementing every time. If you are not clicking, nothing is working. I added on click on this particular thing.